Tips for dealing with anxiety and stress. I think this would be great for adults and kids.
Yes, I totally agree that it's something that kids and adults need to learn. And as I've attended lots and lots of therapy sessions with my kids, I've learned a lot. I think the number one thing that I hear most often is mindfulness. And there's so many things that we can do and ways that we can be mindful. And it sounds almost too simple, like just sitting down and breathing or having a moment of meditation. That's not going to fix me. I think a lot of people kind of go, the answer can't be that simple. But a lot of times that can be a starting place to regroup and get your emotions under control. Whether you're having a little bit of anxiety or like, I'm going to have a panic attack in a minute. I know one time I was having a pretty tough day and I got a text from my son's teacher on the first day of school. We had forgotten to do an assignment that was supposed to be done over the summer. And it was the thing that day that just put me over the edge. Like, I can't be at work and do all of this. So I walked away from my desk, out to my car. And this was the moment where I was going to have that, I'm going to have a panic attack in a minute. And it was a silly thing looking back, but in the moment, it was horrible. And I went out to my car and I just had to focus on my breathing. I just need to breathe right now. And it was actually really hard to do, to go 1, 2, 3, 4, hold that. We learned a technique called square breathing through my daughter's treatment. You breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, sit for 4 seconds, and then you start that over. So it's 4 seconds on either side. They call it square breathing. And that's what I needed right then to not completely lose my mind. But a lot of times I think it's as simple as just stopping what you're doing and having a moment of mindfulness to come back to the present, identify, like we talked about earlier, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling that way? That's been really helpful for my kids, and I've tried to encourage them to do that. It lands differently because all of our kids are different. But if they hear it enough, I think it plants seeds for them to learn those skills. Nobody teaches you these things. Like, I feel like this should be part of curriculum for school, especially for kids in junior high and high school. Why don't we learn these things in high school? Emotion regulation skills, distress tolerance. We live in a society where it's really easy to get a lot of things, and I think we've become really impatient. So when we do experience distress or sadness, it's almost like we don't know how to deal with it because we haven't had to deal with a lot of really hard things before, or we haven't had to wait for things. And I almost wonder if we're losing the skills enduring through stressful situations. Something I think that they should teach more in high school or any school. Kids of all stages and ages experience distress. It's just 2-year-old stress versus 17-year-old stress is different.